Hi, beautiful community. Welcome back to another episode of Create Your Joy. And I'm so happy and so grateful to have Lorena Garfi, if I don't pronounce it correctly. And this time around, she brought her own song that she picked that she really likes. And Lorena, we're so excited. Introduce yourself and let us know what kind of song you have for us today.
Yes, yes. Well, of course, my name is Lorena. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is for me, it's like going to a play park, just connecting with you and doing what we love and working with art. And I am an authenticity coach and I am also a poet. And lately I've been using poetry as a tool for coaching, and it's been like incredible. This is why I resonate so much with you because, songs are poetry, right? With music. So I'm so excited to be here.
Nice. Well, what song do you have for us today?
Okay, so I have In This Skin by Jessica Simpson. And I picked this song because before I've been a coach and a mom, I work as a fashion model since I was 15, and I left my house in Argentina for 15 years. And this song was something that really resonated with me while I was modeling. This was the 90s, right? And it came out, and I remember I was coming out of the gym one day and listening to the radio, and this song came up, and I just I just started crying because I felt that it was a mirror for me, that song. And it was kind of like planting a seed on me on what am I going to do about this. And of course it was a long process, but this was just, the ignition for a change, and for starting to work on my journey of authenticity, which is never over. But these were the first steps, and I'm excited to share this with your beautiful audience, because I mean, my story seems to be so like Cinderella-like, and at the end of the day, you cannot judge a book by its cover, right? And I would like to talk a little bit about that, because I know it's magnified by the fact that my career was so superficial, but I feel like we all live in a world right now, especially with social media, that we feel the same pressures, and we judge ourselves and others. And at the end of the day, we just don't know. We cannot, decide how someone is just by the way they look or that they seem to act. It's just there's always another story, different perspectives, and I like to share that, because I think that I'm not alone in this journey.
Yeah. Wow, one thing that came up to me right now, Lorena, that I really want to share for the audience also to listen to this is that you said when you were listening to this song, it was your starting point for your authenticity. And then the other part that you said is that you were working in a space where it is superficial. But I was thinking like superficial and authenticity met that day. And you started to change the meaning for you on how to see your job that you were doing at the moment, but in an authentic way. And I cannot wait to jump into this song because I wanted to see how you transform the way that you were looking at your work, that it could be superficial. But once you start getting to know yourself and grabbing the core of yourself, then your authenticity starts to come through. And I cannot wait to hear it. Let's
Yes.
take it
Let's do
away.
it. All right, let me get serious here. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this song, and if you didn't listen to it, just play, because it's beautiful, and the melody, and I think that everyone will enjoy this song. So it starts like this. They see me in a magazine. I'm the one they want to be. Still, I don't feel good enough. Still, I don't feel thin enough. I stand up and I'm pushed back down. And every opinion now, it makes me feel inhuman, giving in and giving up. And where do I start? Well, they see me in a magazine and I'm the one they want to be. I had it all. Like you will see me and you will think, wow, she's making money, she's in covers. I mean, I was everywhere. My career started in Europe, started in Paris, and I was in the subways and in billboards and in covers of magazines and everybody was like, wow. And inside of me, I felt nothing. I felt like I was always waiting for that moment that I was going to find that feeling of fulfillment, of happiness, and it just wasn't happening. It was like, okay, when I can work for like big designers, I'm gonna be happy. And then that day came, and for a second I was like, wow, and then I was like, nothing is happening. Like I was like stuck and always fighting with that sadness, right? And at the beginning of my career, I was very young, I was 15, so I just didn't know what was going on, and it didn't matter how people will see me, it was never enough. I'm like, okay, so for example, when I started working, it was the time of the heroin chic in the 90s. I don't know if you remember. And I didn't feel like I fit in my country. I'm from Argentina. Um, dysfunctional childhood, that's for another podcast. But um, I wanted to get out of there. I wanted I didn't belong. I felt like I didn't belong there, but then I didn't feel like I belong anywhere else either. And because I had no money, my mom didn't want to support me because they were all professionals. My mom was a judge, my sister's lawyer. So I was like the black sheep of the family. I was like, I take care of myself. So I didn't have much money at the beginning. So I was eating like carrots and mushrooms because those are cheap in Paris. And, and I got really thin. And that's what started my career very successful because that was the time. So so my fame was based on like a lack of nourishment.
Okay. Wow.
And then I started working and making money, but then I had that pressure of who I needed to be. And nobody will see that, right? Like I remember, I mean, Ivania, I remember being in Paris and I remember this moment exactly. Just checking if the toothpaste had calories.
Oh.
I mean, who even thinks about that? Like, I'm looking back and I'm like, where does that even come from? That was the pressure that I had to go through. And like it says here, not good enough, not thin enough. It was never the point that I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm just going to stay. Never, never. And I would like to say that I'm over absolutely everything that I went through, but it's an ongoing process when you live in that world and you put that pressure on yourself for so long to stay in a healthy track. So then this part that says I stand up and I'm pushed back down, and every opinion now it makes me feel inhuman, giving in and giving up. So, you get all blown up by, the interviews and this and that. And then all of a sudden, like people didn't know that I speak French, which I told myself French. So I will go in auditions and they would be like, oh, she's the face, or she has hair in her face, or she has a flat like behind, or like little boobs or big boobs. So it's like everybody idolize you, and then everything they put you down. So it's like this expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction. And it was such a manipulation of my feelings because this is a plastic world, but I had a real heart. So those two, it was really difficult to grasp and to live a life that's real with that. How do you know what's real? Where do you find that feeling of content, acceptance? And And it was really difficult, it was just like I said, like giving in and giving up, giving in and giving up. And everybody wants you to be something different, especially with modeling, that you play a role just like an actress, right? And you just have to learn how to be what others want from you. And I became really good at it. Really good. That was part of my success and the longevity of my career. But then I was that, and I carried that after modeling, even in my marriage and things like that. I still had to learn how to be me.
Yeah.
So
So wow. And then you being so young, not able to understand what you're going through, like what your body physically is going through, what your mind is going through, like your brain is not fully developed yet. And but now when you look back at the song and now at this stage of your life, what is it that you think that when you started listening to this song, it started your journey of your authenticity? Or like you said, it's not like we arrived because we never arrived. It's
no.
actually a process. What is it that like now when you look at those songs and then you identify, oh, this one was the one that took me on my direction?
Well, because when I listened to that song, like I felt like it was made for me. I felt like I was singing that song, and I had to do something about it. Like I felt like that listening to that song was the beginning of being like, okay, there's something absolutely wrong with this picture.
Mhm.
What am I going to do now? And I almost start rebelling
Mhm.
against that part of me, against the industry, against like focusing so much on appearances and what people see from the outside, and nobody will ever guess. And that's the thing about being in a business like that. It's like nobody thinks that there is, that you will be sad. Nobody asks you that because you seem fantastic, right? You're happy, you make a good living, everybody adores you, right? But not for who you are, for what you look like, which you have
Mhm.
absolutely no control over. So that was me starting to rebel. Like,
Mhm.
I am more than this. And this, we're going to get to the part of the song that talks about that. But it was just like, okay, now everything is out, which I think that art does for you, like songs do for you, or poetry does for you. What are you going to do about that? This is out
Yeah.
now. You cannot like pretend that it didn't happen. And that's why that's what it marked the beginning
Mhm.
of starting to share and to be my truth and my authentic self, which was a long road. It didn't happen. By the end of the song, I wasn't.
Yeah, but you know what? I really like the fact that the songs, when you're in a state of suffering, and also the same time when you start to figure out what is it that is making you suffer, because it could be also misunderstood and not able to identify that feeling where it comes from, because it comes from different places. But I think when that song comes along and you feel that that song is like that song gets you, understands you, like what you're going through, I think I call those songs more the anthem of the song,
Yes,
because it kind of keeps you forward. Like
yes,
if she did it, that artist wrote it down, or I don't know if she wrote it or somebody's wrote it, but whoever wrote it, they've been through pain, they've been somewhere, or they have some exposure to that pain. And then that's why we identify ourselves with that. And I'm gonna jump into the chorus where it says to be worthy, to feel beautiful in the skin, in this skin, to be beautiful in this skin. Love the skin I'm in. Love me for me. Have confidence in this skin, to be confident in this skin. I call the chorus, I usually call it a mantra. And the reason that I call it a mantra is because it's a repetition. It's something that you start to tell yourself the truth, the real truth, the truth that we are inherently worthy. No one is going to give us that validation that we are worthy or something. So it's like inherently you have it, you already here, you have a soul, you have a body, you have your health, you have everything, and it's already been given into you. You don't have to earn it. And I think like I love the chorus because for me, like I said, it's like a mantra that we start putting that seed in our brain and in our soul and start watering it. Like you said, it's not like we arrive or like we change at the end of the song, but every time we listen to it, every time we gain more awareness, every time we get a little bit more stronger, every time we get a little bit more powerful. So when the time is right, then you punch back.
Yes, and you can
Yeah.
use music. I love what you do, Ivania, so much. Never stop doing this podcast. Um,
Okay.
is the thing is like, like this, you keep going back down, right? Because that's life. But then, you can put that song again.
Yes.
And then you can listen to that chorus. And like you said, it's an anthem. It's just like you put your voice there, and there's something that happens inside that is you. And it's almost it's an anthem and it's a prayer.
Mhm.
Just, love me for who I am. I am confident. I'm enough in the skin. I don't have to prove anything, right? It's just like I am more than that. And for me, it was so many layers, because I come from a family that everyone is so smart, right? And lawyers and judges and all kind. So I always felt that insecurity towards my intellect.
Mm.
And then just being a model, it was just, that's not for me, like this is all I can do is just use what God gave me exteriorly and just see if I can, what can I do with my life from that, right? But just listening to this song and just going through this journey of authenticity, it's like I am so many others, so many more things. And even to do a job like that, you do need to be smart. You need to, to learn so many different things. You need to learn to adapt. You need to learn languages. You need to learn how to ask.
Yes.
You need to communicate. For me, like modeling, and it wasn't just about standing there and look pretty. Like every time I will have like a photo shoot, for me it was a story. But nobody saw that. I wanted to tell a story. Like I
Mhm.
wanted my eyes to connect with people. I want to say something. And this song also shift. I was like, okay, maybe I can have a platform from this that then I can share, and I can, I can identify with other people that they're going through something like that. Not just modeling, because this is not just about that, but um, and now I realize that right now, this moment is when everything came together. When I have this platform, when I have I didn't even know what a life coach was at the time, but this was the place that I needed to be. I needed to go through all that
Mhm.
to now have a voice, and then being able
Yes.
to share it from a place of knowledge. And I
Mhm.
had to learn, and I had to study, and I had to, and I'm still working on my intellect confidence because I still have limiting beliefs sometimes.
Mm.
you know but I'm aware. I catch myself and I'm like, what story am I telling myself? Is this a fact? Is it a feeling? So yes, this anthem was very, very important for me. It was something that I would play over and over again.
Yeah, I can. Let's start with the other phrase.
Yes. So tell me, what's wrong with me? I am the girl with everything, so why I'm not strong enough? I want to be strong enough to tell you how I really feel. I know my talent is real. So don't tell me I have to be one or two. I don't have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove. So don't tell me. And I feel the way that she repeats that, it's just like, it's a statement. It's like, that's it. I had it. Don't tell me anymore. Like I want to take charge of my life. I want to show up as I am. I want you to see that there is a heart here that has so much more to give, that I am not just a shell, right? And this is like almost like rebelling a little bit, just don't tell me, like I had it. I had it right now. And it's difficult. You get afraid to be yourself, because especially when you're used to be what other people think that you should be, and you disconnect, people cannot hurt you so much, right? Because this is a role.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody plays a movie and they're hating the character, whatever. That's not me. That's the character the director gave me to play, and that's that. But when you start the process of being you, then you have to be vulnerable and you have to show who you really are, and then you're exposed. Then everything is personal, right? So yeah, it's just finding the strength. I started to find the strength to stand up against all the opinions of others, and be like, okay, this is me. Like, I don't mind. It's like everybody can have their own opinion. I can do nothing about it. All I can do is be me, accept myself as I am, and just being myself. That's the statement. I don't have to tell you, I am this way, I have a heart. No, this is me. This is what I'm doing. I cry. Sometimes I like wake up and I don't feel like getting out of the bed. And, especially when I was that young, I was just like, oh my goodness, so lonely. And, you don't want to worry your parents. Not, it was so hard. And then you're like, okay, that's it. This is me. Like, you can say whatever you want, and let's start showing up as who I really was. And that's what started happening.
Wow. You know what? I really like this part also because it's like you went into this transformation, because you start to get stronger. And not only that, you start asking that question where it says, so am why am I no, sorry. So why am I not strong enough? So you're asking that question yourself. It's not that you're having a conversation with another person. It's when you're listening to those songs, you're reflecting and you're asking. And then you answering, I want to be strong enough to tell you who I really feel, how I really feel. I know my talent is real, because also you have talent, not the talent that other people might. Everyone has a different opinions and from different careers. If you say this and this, I like this career, somebody's gonna say, no, I don't like that one. It's bad, it's not good, blah, 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 blah. You say another career, another person gonna say, no, I don't like that. This is not good for you, blah, blah, blah. So everyone has a different meaning for their careers. But here where it says like everyone has a talent. Every single person. There's no one that has not a talent. We just had to find it. And when you find it, you work with it. And then going back into what you were saying before, is that talent also that you had, it was your talent, your beauty. It was not like you created your beauty. It's you were given this beauty for a reason. And then when you go into this work and leave so early from your home at 15 and go to Paris, go to become this model, you might not have the bigger picture of why you were there. But there's a reason why you go in there. And then that's for you to discover, not for other people to discover that, but for you. And then now I'm sure when you started to do your own going into your journey and trying to learn more and helping other ones around you and younger people that they're coming into that industry. So you were a mentor already. So your transition is started to take off. So I am so sure on your way you touch other people. That's why you're a life coach now too, because you want to continue and expose what you had left.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had somebody like like me, right? Like that
Mm-hmm.
went through things and be like, this is just a natural process and everything happens for a reason. And like you said, we are all given the same opportunities. They look different, right? But we are born
Yeah.
with a gift. We all have a gift, and it's our responsibility to find it and to use it and
Yes.
to spread it. Because at the end of the day, we're just a vehicle of something divine. Whatever
Yes.
it is that you call God, nature, the moon, it doesn't matter. We're a part of that. We're just a little car that drives that little soul, right? And just like, I'm here to, this is it. I'm here to give you this. And when you start looking at life like that, and sometimes it takes a coach or somebody that had that experience, and sometimes you learn it for yourself, like I did. Everything that happened in my life, and I'm like, why did I even do that? Like now I'm a life coach. Why I did stand-up comedy for a while, and I was just like, what was that all about, right? And now it taught me so much. I don't take myself so serious. Like you can put me anywhere to talk about anything. I mean, I made fun of myself at such a degrading point that those things don't matter anymore to me. So I have that freedom, because when you put everything out there, the good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy, it's just so liberating.
Yeah, and you know
So
what? With that, it goes into the one of the last phrases that is so good what you were saying, because you said it's a freedom and liberating, because it said, "Be real, be
yes.
real. See the beauty inside this skin. I don't have to hide this skin. Love the skin I'm in. I feel an awakening in this skin. Stop forsaking me in this skin."
Yes, because it's not about like, okay, now I'm going to rebel about what I look like, which I did too. I was such a hippie. I remember not wearing makeup, torturing my mother and everyone around, kind of like rebelling
Mm.
towards that, towards what I look like. Like, even like in my relationships, I was fighting. I'm like, you don't even know me. I would be like, what do you think? You love me? You don't even know me. Who am I? You just see what you see. So I went through that like teenage. I mean, I I was a teenager for a long time. And I realized that that's not the thing. You need to love all of you. Yes, thank God for this skin, because I might not have some insecurities, but trust me, we all deal with the same deck of feelings. It just looks different. But you might be super smart, but you feel like your hair is not light enough or your skin is whatever, right? So that's your thing. For me, like it was just about what I need, like my intellect, like like am I smart enough? Like can I even have a normal job? Like I don't even know how to do my taxes. Like I mean, like I felt so little,
Mm.
right? And sometimes the things that people cannot see is difficult to treat because it's not obvious. Nobody's going to ask me how I am because, just this society tells you, okay, what you see is what you get a little bit, right? And that is so untrue. I had so many moments that I was like, I will give all of this just to have the peace of mind, just to feel confident. It's just a feeling, It's like because you can rationalize things, but no, but I am smart enough, but I did this, but I did that, but it's just you need to feel it. It's like I want to wake up one day and feel like I'm skinny now, like I don't have to lose weight, or I don't have to gain weight, or I don't have to lie about my age. I used to lie about my age when I was in my 20s.
Mm.
I'm like, and now what I do, I even say that I'm older, just in case.
That's funny.
Um, so um, so yes, to be real, to not everything's good. Thank you, Lord, for the skin and for what's inside the skin. This is all of me.
Yes.
I want to feel, I feel, and this song was very strong because it's like the heart. was awakening inside that shell, so start having a pulse, right? And it's just
Yes.
like, I'm just connecting and it's all together, and we are such a piece of heaven, us as human beings. Like if we think about it, what crazy, beautiful thing
Mhm.
we are.
Yeah.
Everyone, everybody.
Mhm. Yeah, no, and I really liked it because what you said, because it's more, I feel that with this song, it's more about embracing who you truly are. And the thing is, when we say embrace who you truly are, we start going from that inward, which like what is inherently yours. And at the end of the day, embracing all of you, how you are at this moment.
Yes.
And I think from once we start embracing all of our parts, that of course that we don't like sometimes, or at some points we just don't want to look at. But once you start looking at it with love, with understanding, for a reason, everything is there. I think you move forward from there and you start seeing yourself in a different way. And when you start seeing yourself in a different way, that's what's reflecting to the world. And the people that don't want to be in your circle, they start to move away because they don't align in what your beliefs. And it's okay because they have other beliefs, which is fine. But at least you're connecting with the real people. And
Because we're always afraid, what if the real me is not good enough?
mm,
What if I really start showing who I am? People don't want to have me around. If they know that I have all these insecurities, will they still think of me like someone special? Will they want to be with me? And I'm just getting to a point of like being like, this is me, I accept myself. It's amazing. Just letting go of the idea that we need to please others, that we need to be someone we are not, to be loved, to be accepted, to be like, like, this is me. You don't think, you don't like me like that? Great. Just maybe you need to start shedding those layers. It's difficult because the transition when you start being yourself is really hard because people around you, they don't know that part of you, right? So they change. Because I continue my transformation,
yes.
with things like that, when they are so rooted in you. Even when I got married, I started showing up as what I thought my husband wanted. I mean, everything. I changed the way I dress. I started cooking. I never cooked in my life. I never dreamed about having kids. Like, I was like, what does he wants? I didn't have a father figure in my life. So for me, it was just like, wow. And I'm not going to go into all the awful relationships I had while I was modeling because that's very, very long. But when I found my husband, like I knew he was the one. And then, but I also knew that I needed to start showing who I was. And it was there, and I will start little back because it takes a long time. And life put me in a situation that it was a breakdown. It was when COVID happened. And this is a while. I start this process of authenticity, but it's difficult when you get involved, especially with someone like a husband, right? Somebody that finally cares about you, someone that it might not leave, that wants to build a family with you. I'm like, wow, I will do anything not to lose this person. And then you start going back to your own resources. But life was very quick and was like something happened in me that I started being so miserable again. Like I felt the image was like being in a straight jacket, that I couldn't move. I would have dreams that I was very alive. And my husband is like, what is wrong with you? You have everything, because literally, like I told you, my whole life from the outside is perfect. Disneyland, if everything. So it's like, what do you want? Why you're not happy? What is lacking? And I was just like, I just don't know what to do anymore. And he's like, do anything, please go away by yourself. I became a meditation coach. I went in like plant medicine retreats. I did everything to see what was happening. And it was just like, okay, this is what's happening. I don't like to cook.
All right.
No, but you know, it's just like, I was just like, yes, you know, I love taking care of you, but I mean, really, this is not my style. I want to go back to my hippie little shorts, you know, and braids and ponytails. Like, I don't, and my husband was like, who are you? I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. And it was a point that he didn't, I felt like he just was ready to end our relationship with kids and everything. And I was just like, and I got it because I was so miserable that I was ready to do anything just to liberate my soul. And I was like, listen, I get it. Because you have to put yourself in other people's shoes when you start working on you, because it's not fair, right? Like if you think the other way around, you'll be like, what's happening? So it was just, give me some time. Give me the chance of showing you who I am, really. I'm like, I promise you, you're going to like me so much better. You're going to see all of me and you're going to love. And thank goodness, you know, that he stayed, because now our relationship is so much better. There's always struggles, right? I'm not going to say like, oh my God, now I'm in la la land, because
No, no.
no,
Yeah.
especially marriage. That's a hard one. But now I'm honest with myself. Whatever comes from that, that's fine. That's what's supposed to be. But just that freedom, everything else is worth it. And then, like you said, listen, even like a couple of weeks ago, like I have a misunderstanding with my husband, and I was like, what you said to me was not right. I'm never going to be that person. So what's happening now is like, do you still want to be with the real me that is not going to care about that ever? Or you cannot tolerate that? So just having the confidence to put my relationship in the line, something that I never had before. I never had a connection, not even with my own parents. So, but how amazing. And you see, when you start being you, people likes you more. It's like this magnetism, because that's who you're meant to be. That's when you're you, you can shine your light. And that's it. That's our purpose, just right. Be what we're meant to be. So yeah, that's why this song was very, very it was a milestone for me to find it. And that's something that I keep thinking about. And I go back, because like we said, you never graduate
Exactly.
from, yes.
Yeah. And with that, we're gonna wrap up. And I just want to say that this one had a little bit of this song that I really like the song. I never heard it before. And I really liked how you were able to explain it, Lorena, and how you were able to say also that it is a journey, that we never arrived. But that song brings you back to the core, because we lose ourselves at some point in our lives. But we lose, it's not that we lose ourselves, it's more like we get so distracted,
Yeah.
that we get, our lives get blurry, but then we always come back to who we are. We cannot get away from our worthiness.
Yeah.
And then just the way you were lost at some point where you were modeling, and then at some point you were lost with your husband, you were authentically inside there, that you cannot, you never, none of us can be hide. We can hide.
Mm.
And then these songs brings you that
Yeah.
light, and it brings you lighter. And I think, like you said, the more we are authentic with ourselves, which is actually a journey. It's not that this is our version. No, next year is going to be another Lorena, and the following year is going to be another Lorena. But every time it gets better and better, because we start learning ourselves more of what we're capable of love, compassion, and kindness, and all of that. So with that, thank you so much for bringing this song. It's beautiful. I really loved it. And I'm so happy you're able to embrace yourself in such a way that allow yourself to fall,
Yeah.
so you can back up. And when you get back up, you're stronger. And thank you so much for bringing this song.
Thank
Anything that
you.
you would like to say to?
Just like, be compassionate with yourself and just realize that this society tries to tell us the way that we're supposed to look, to be, the amount of money that we're supposed to make, the car that and that matters not. Think at the end of your life, what's going to be important for you. It's the way you feel, showing who you are, being yourself, having honest, authentic connections. So let's start working on that. We have everything we know, everything that we need to be everything that we're meant to be. We don't need anything else. There's nothing wrong with wanting to like do your makeup or just wearing a cute dress, whatever it is, but that's not you, right? That's just an accessory, whatever. You can play like that. But you're invincible. It's all inside you. So just start showing who you are, even if it's scary, and you will see that everything's going to change for the better.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Lorena. And you can give us your Insta.
Yes.
How do you
Yes.
have it in your Instagram?
So my Instagram, which is where I spend most of my time in the socials, is lifecoach_Lorena Garfi. So over there you will be able to find like my website or the videos. I put content with value all the time, and I like to have a relationship with my audience. So please, any questions, any advice, do you want to share something with me? Like, that's my purpose. I live for that. So please don't be shy, and yes, and connect with me, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lorena. I had so much fun and I really love that conversation because we have a different perspective on how to look, at the beauty industry as well, that it could be really harsh, but at the same time, the models are actually human beings.
Yes. No.
Okay, don't forget that. Thank you so much and see you next time. And
Thank you.
like I
Thank you.
said, always be creating the lifestyle that you want to live.
Yes.
Enjoy. Bye.